Welcome to the Lyrics Critic, a fresh, fun, and interesting take on that song or album that's all the buzz in gospel. I'm your host, Tan, and from time to time, I'll be inviting my friends to share their own reactions to the songs. In this very first episode, I'll be critiquing the song Strong God by Kirk Franklin. So a few weeks ago in the Versus battle with Fred Hammond, Kirk announced that he was dropping the video for the song, which I discovered is actually over a year old. But before we get into the critique, let's look briefly at the artists behind the voices. Kirk Franklin is an icon in the gospel music arena. He's a multi-Grammy, Stellar, and Dove Awards winner, singer, songwriter, and producer. He has his own label, For Your Soul Recordings, in association with RCA. He's assembled, recorded, and performed with choirs such as The Family and God's Property. In May 2019, he released Long Live Love, which features the song Strong God, the song we're talking about today. Of course, Kirk is joined by Greg Cox, and he's also a Grammy Award-winning vocalist, musician, and producer. The video for Strong God was premiered on YouTube on June 1, and so far has over 900,000 views and over 2,000 comments. If you've never listened to the song, now might be a good time to pause and hop on over to YouTube, Apple Music, Spotify, or wherever you stream music and take a listen. Alright, so now we're ready to get into it. The song starts with a cry for help, Mayday, Mayday, and then it goes on to outline a number of problems as the reasons for the call for help. He says the earth is shaking, who gonna save the babies from another bloody Sunday? And then another call for help, Mayday, Mayday. They love me or they hate me for my skin color, but you say I am your brother. So in that first verse, we see where he highlights some of the social injustices in America a year ago and even today. Then they go into the pre-chorus. The government keep lying to me, telling me that they come to set the people free. But the power falls when they catch us on our knees. Heaven, please, we're in a state of emergency. See, we need a strong God. This is the line that a lot of people are uncomfortable with based on some of the feedback I've seen on YouTube. But we'll come back to that shortly. He continues, we need the real God. The God with the resurrection power from the grave to take away the hate, to heal the human race. Then the chorus, we need a, repeated, we need a strong God. Verse 2 again starts with a cry for help. Say Mayday, Mayday, and then another set of problems are highlighted. Changing climate, poor people in the cold, but people keep preaching to their soul. But contrary to how others are doing things, he says, we don't leave till everybody's free, and we won't sleep till everybody eats. Until lives matter more than tithes matter. This verse for me represents an indictment on the church community. Like he's saying they're only concerned with getting the word out and not with the people themselves that they're trying to reach. Then the song goes back to the pre-chorus, the government keep lying to me, etc., etc. And then into the chorus, see, we need a strong God. In the bridge, he says, we want justice, change, you want peace, and no more pain. To be equal, to be free, Martin's dream is what I need. And he repeats it. I think right there he's saying collectively these are the things we want as a people: justice, change, peace, and of course all the things Martin Luther King spoke about in his famous I Have a Dream speech. Go look it up. And then he makes this profound statement: just don't preach the gospel, be the gospel. And again, I think he's talking to the church community right there. Then for verse 3, he starts with lyrics borrowed from an American patriotic song. My country, taste of thee, sweet land of liberty. When will we finally see we need a strong God? Then he repeats the pre-chorus, the chorus, and then goes back to a few lines from the opening. And that's the song. So, we've examined the lyrics. Let's hear from my friends and their reactions to the song. Dacia, what's your take?
Okay, so I like the song, but at first my thoughts were like, we need a strong God. We already have a strong God. So it should have been we have a strong God. But by listening to the song over, I realized the song is basically for the world. Because, he says, and for some churches who he's saying, and the song is about social injustice. So we need a strong God is basically saying, okay, world, y'all need to know that our God is strong. So we need to recognize how strong he is. And also, for the world who doesn't know, basically, we need a strong God. He's calling them to worship the God that we have. And saying to the church that do not just preach to people and not help them. Do not just want their tithes and not help them. Do not preach a God to them, but yet still you're not doing what our strong God does. So I think it's a good song. I really do. But at first it was kind of confusing about we need a strong God because we already have a strong God. But I get the notion, and yeah, it's a good song.
So Dacia likes the song. Initially, she had some issues with the line, we need a strong God, but she understands it now and she's good with that. How about you, Renz?
I absolutely love the song Strong God. I think the lyrics are misinterpreted though. For me, the lyrics are about, the one true God that we all need to be focusing on. But we have other gods in our life, may it be money, our spouses, our jobs, our president, our government. I think we get it confused. And strong God just reminds us that the God that we need, the one and only strong, true God we need, is the God with the resurrection power. So that's my take on the song, and I absolutely love the song. I think it's an awesome song and a reminder to all of us to, you know, just let go of all the idols and just focus on the one true living God.
Okay, so Rennie thinks it's a good song, an amazing song, and no issues with the line a strong God. So now it's time for Tan's take. I think Strong God is a good song. It's timely in its references and it's very thought-provoking. It could have been an excellent song, but I have a problem with the lyrics that links the verses to the chorus. Because after outlining the problems, he goes on to appeal to heaven for help, because he says, "Heaven, please, we're in a state of emergency. We need a strong God." Now, for me, if you're appealing to heaven, why would you be saying to God that we need a strong God? Like, God, we need a strong God. And it somewhat seems like you're telling God that he needs to be strong. On the other hand, we also see where he's appealing to fellow Americans, because the problems he's highlighted are problems the country is facing, and then he says collectively we need a strong God. In verse 3, we see this because he appeals to Americans explicitly when he said, "My country, 'tis of thee, sweet land of liberty." When will we finally see that we need a strong God? John McReynolds has a song that says, "May your troubles show that you need God," which essentially is what Kirk did. He pointed out the troubles and then he pointed to God as the help, as the fixer, as the solution. So basically, I see two threads running in the song: an appeal to heaven for help and an appeal for Americans to look to God for help, as he says, to take away the pain and by extension to heal the human race. And therefore, I think he needed two separate sets of lyrics to address the need for God based on who he is appealing to. We need a strong God is okay if you're talking to fellow Americans, but if your call is to heaven for help, you can't say to God, "We need a strong God." Or he could just go with my fix for the song, which is "We need our strong God." And for me, that acknowledges God's strength, and it can be an appeal to heaven saying to God, He's our strong God and we need Him. Or it could also be an appeal to Americans saying, we need our strong God, the God that belongs to all of us, to help us in these times. My score for Strong God is 7.5 out of 10. And with that, we're at the end of the very first episode of The Lyrics Critic. Thank you for listening, and God bless you. Remember to support the song as it is a fundraiser.